Matt. Welcome to another episode of the Whiskey Crusaders, and this is going to be our final episode now of all of this beautiful Pappies. Is this as good as the Weller 12 and Antique 107? I set up here a blind flight of them. The one I don't have is the 20. I just set it out there because it's a pretty bottle. Unfortunately, it's empty. So I do want to thank our buddy Knight again for setting up this experiment, doing the 3-to-2 ratio of the Antique to the Weller 12. And so we've got, like I said, we got Poor Man's Pappy in here. Obviously, this was going against all these other ones. We also have some Lot B, which is from Bobby and Sam over at Whiskey She Wines. Of course, this is the bottle of the 13-year Van Winkle Rye. I'm losing right through the rye, and it's only 53%, so I figured, it's just barely a rye. I was thinking to get obviously, this is the big one, the 15-year Pappy Van Winkle. I've also got a little bit from our buddy, a little tiny amount left of the 10-year Van Winkle, sorry, older Van Winkle 10-year. Okay, that was really freaking embarrassing, but we can cut that out. Thank God for editing. All right, and then I got like a tiny amount of that 23 that was left from Brad over at Cast Strength, so Brad Leclerc over there. So, like I said, unfortunately, this bad boy is empty, but it was really delicious and shared with like 80 people, so good job on that. Alrighty, so let's see what we can think of these, and let's see what it is. I'm very interested to see. So basically, your experiment is you can buy two of these retail for about under $100, or retail you could spend all these at these full bottles. Obviously, will spend you well over $1,000 if you had full bottles all. And then if you spend secondary, oh my gosh, secondary on these $5,000, $6,000, maybe $10,000 if you bought them all for the absurd astronomical top of the line price. Or, like I said, if you paid crazy secondary for these ones, it might cost you like $400, which is still stupid, but hey, people do crazy shit all the time. So, whatever makes people happy. People got sometimes more money than sense, but, hey, whatever works for you. All right, so let's see what we can do there. I have obviously no idea what's in which. Let's just see what we can start here one end and go to work our way. That smells nice and oily. Rich. So yeah. So not lots of nice butterscotch and caramel vanillas. Okay, this smells a little bit thinner. Nowhere near as rich, whatever that one is. Okay, I wonder if this might be the rye. Could be. This one smells much more minty. More ass. Could be the rye. I don't know. I guess we'll find out soon enough. All right, let's see what the next one here is. And that has a little more rye to it as well. Interesting. Not quite sure what that is either. It's not as rich and oily as that first one, whatever that was. Okay, so still has more of the caramel and the vanilla. A little more oaky. Huh. Okay. That smells way more oaky than the other ones. I guess it could be the 23 or the 15. Not really sure. I'm sure the taste will probably be more apparent. Yeah, your caramels and your other thing are kind of subdued on that one. And that smells pretty nice. But yeah, this is kind of muted as well, whatever it is. Okay. So I think nose-wise, that made the most beautiful nose, maybe whatever in this glass. So, okay, let's see. We go with the taste and see if we can figure these out and kind of get an order on these. All right, let's see. Okay. Ooh, that's pretty okay. That's got to be the 23. Has to be. Okay, let's see what we think of this. It's kind of thin. Little, yeah. A little watery. Nothing fantastic there. Okay. Yeah, because the 23 is like 95.3, 95.6, something like that. Yeah, I still think that's probably the rye. Based on that flavor notes on that one. Which is obviously, it's good. All right, let's see what we think of this. That's more caramely and vanilla, but it's a little on the thinner side. It's not as oily. Maybe that's the Lot B. Maybe. I don't know. All right, let's see what this is. Okay, so that's a little bit more, that's definitely more oily, thick, viscous. But it's not as okay. I'm thinking that might be the 15 then in that one. Just a guess. All right, let's see what we think of this. Okay, that's pretty great. That's pretty good too. Okay, but it's not, it doesn't seem to quite the viscosity of this one or this one. All right, so I think just in quarter of the ranks right now, I think I'm gonna just eliminate a few. I think this one, that's one I didn't really like. It was kind of watery. Pretty sure this one was a little watery too. Yeah, I think this was probably, my guess is the 10 and the 12. We're not like that's the Lot B and the Old Rip Van Winkle 10. Just guessing. All right, I think this is probably the rye from what I said. Yeah, I think that's probably the rye. Pretty sure. All right, put that over there. So I think, based on what I'm thinking, this is probably the 23. This is probably the 15, and this is probably the poor man's Pappy. Just guessing, but we'll find out soon enough. All right, so let's taste these one more time. Nose them a little more. Yeah, and that's got the oak is really starting to come out on that one now. All right. So yeah, so I think if that's the 23, this is probably, like I said, probably the 15. A subdued nose compared to that oakiness of that 23. Still smells really good. And of course, the proof on this is 107 on the 15, which obviously we owe you guys a review on the 15 year still. So we'll have to get to that soon. Of course, I think that's my favorite line at this point in time to tell you guys, hey, we're going to review this one too. Okay. So nose isn't as strong in this one. So I think this is probably the poor man's more than likely. But like I said, I think it tastes definitely better than these two for sure. The rye is kind of like it's an outlier. But I put it in there for fun. So, because why wouldn't you want to drink the beautiful 13-year Winkle Reserve? There's no reason not to. So, all right. So let's give this another taste. Okay, so it's still got those really nice caramels and vanillas. The viscosity doesn't seem to quite be what these other two are. Let's see. It's really good. Like I said, I'm pretty sure it's the 15. Okay. Like I said, I'm pretty sure it's the 23. Okay. Yeah. Confident that's the 23, 15 Bad Brands. 23 is good. Actually holding up better than I thought it would. The oakiness is not, it's still there. It's still not as good as I think. And also the lower the proof on it, I think is not quite as good as the 15 is. I think the 15 is probably better than the 23. There's that little bit of still that oakiness there in the 15 that's not like amazing. It's still really good, but is it worth the secondary prices? No, I wouldn't say so. Like I said, we'll go full review on that, so it's all good. It's a really, and you can kind of tell that the poor man's it's very close. And for the money, I said it's still an amazing whiskey to blend these two together. It's just a little bit thinner in viscosity, I would say, than the 15. Assuming I'm correct on this. It's a little bit thinner, but yeah, I think it's a little more butterscotch, a little bit more caramel. You don't have the oakiness is not quite there, and like I said, the weird thing I think was week 3 when it had the black cinnamon, it's the black pepper and cinnamon. None of that's here. It's a really really nice whiskey. And I think if you, especially if you got obviously the Knight's got the full bottle of it or whatever's left in it at this point. I'm sure that's really beautiful. All right, so I'm gonna go back and just to see. I think. Yeah, neither one of these is. So I'm pretty sure this is the 10. Yep, okay, that's the 10. All right, so let's see if I was right on what we called. 10, 12, got that right. Yep, got the 13 right. All right, so the real question is, did I get these 3 right? 23, 15, and poor man's. All right, So yes, I got them all right. Well, good for me. Yay. But the real question of this was, what's the best of these blind? And I think it came to the right three. I think, that kind of tells you the 12 and the 10, I would probably pass on them. I mean, if you're going to unless you get them, you're going to, as much as I hate somebody to say, unless you've never had it before, then obviously you can get it for retail, buy it. It's still good whiskey. But compared to these three, I would much rather have this than the 10 or the 12 any day. That's not a doubt. And for the money, I mean, is it exactly the good as the 15? No, it's not. But is it damn close? I mean, the nose is a little bit richer, like I said, and more oil. Of course, the proof is going to be completely 107. This is going to be partly the 12 is only 90 proof, but the antique is, of course, 107. So, is it better? I don't know if it's better. It's a beautiful whiskey either way, but it's close enough. And pour a little bit more of it. Whoa, just because. Why the hell not? All right, so let's see here what we think. So add a little bit more of it. Now that proof spike, of course, went up because I add a little more into the glass. So they both do have now what's funny is, now they both have that shoe polish, the caramel. They're very similar now on the nose. Those vanillas. But now cinnamon is coming out. Even a little bit of black pepper at this point. Furniture polish on both. Yeah, definitely. Okay, so I think this is probably the final thing on this. Okay. So the poor man's is just slightly thinner than the 15, but now sitting them out there together again, it's pretty damn close. I would say it's definitely the closest to the 15 of everything we've tried here. The 23 is just too much more oak compared to it. Yeah, it's too oaky and too oily, so we'll put 23 over here. Granted, obviously 23 is good, but it's not worth crazy amounts of money. It's still a good whiskey, but everything has to be at retail or less. Obviously, it's not going to happen, but hey, if you can get a retail, then it'd probably be worth it. So if you can get the 15, I think the 15's retail is around, what is it, 160, something like that now. Obviously, I know that's almost impossible to come by at that price. But even if you saw it at $200-$300, it'd probably still be worth picking up. Okay. Now, obviously, there's going to be a little bit of slight palate fatigue at this point. Not a ton, because also we're used to doing a ton of these. But these are all very similar in taste profile, so they're going to start mixing together with some of my mouth, having so many of them at the same, in a relative short period of time. But I would say this experiment is a pretty big success. I think that, like I said, these are obviously going to be a lot easier to find, the 12 and the antique, and significantly cheaper. And I do think this is a good experiment to do. No matter what, I think you're going to have fun with it. The 3-2 seems to work really well. I think it is really close to the 15. I mean, of all these that we're comparing, I wish I had the 20 to compare to this, but like I said, unfortunately, got a lot of people more than happy to have done that. I think that's great. But, so someday maybe we'll get another 20 or get a sample at least and compare them again. But I would certainly say that it's really close, and I don't think you'd be disappointed in it. And hey, if you get a big like that reasonable, great. If not, no big deal. All right, but there's always one thing we have to do as Whiskey Crusaders. We have to blend them all together. All right, so let's see what that ends up tasting like. My guess is this is probably the best of all of them combined. It usually is. We shall see shortly. I'm always a big advocate at the end of the night. Take everything you've tried, pour them all together, and see if it becomes magical. Sometimes it really is, and sometimes it's not. We'll just have to see. All right, so let's see here what we've got going on. Give a little swirly here for fun. All right, let's see what we got. Ooh, that smells beautiful. Oh my gosh, now all those vanillas and caramel butterscotch. the rye spice, and the furniture polish, and the black pepper, and the cinnamon. Man, they're just all melding together beautifully. Okay, hopefully this tastes as good as it smells. It's good. It's not okay. What's funny is it's actually got super oaky. That's bizarre. Okay, that did not work as well as I. It smelled beautiful. Got really oaky. Weird. Okay, well that was not what I expected at all. See if sip 2 makes it hopefully better. A little better, but still pretty damn oaky. Oaky with more cinnamon, black pepper, worn leather. It's a really clinging, really hard now. It's good, but it's not what I was hoping for. I was hoping for like really magic popping in here. But it's not the case. I don't know. I think maybe we need to add a little bit more of the 15 just because why not? See if that will improve it. All right, so add a little bit more 15. See if that helps, and if it doesn't, oh well, then that's the end of this experiment. Either way, it was a lot of fun. I thank a lot of people for providing samples. I'd like to once again want to thank Knight for making this awesome experiment for us. This was really a lot of fun. It was a really great idea of his to do this for us. I appreciate him making it. Just like I said, as a scientist, he did a fabulous job. Look forward to more experience with Knight. Okay, so the nose definitely improved a little more 15 in there. Hopefully the flavor has. Yeah, a little bit better, but yeah, still. Okay, so we'll say this. Okay, so I would say in retrospect, of all the things we tried, of all this stuff here, I think that the Pappy, Poor Man's Pappy is definitely a success. Very close to the 15. I would definitely do that. Much easier to find the Weller 12 and the Antique than to find a Pappy 15, let alone the price is significantly different. I don't think you'd be disappointed in having both, obviously, but I would just go for the Poor Man's. It's close enough and it's really good, and no one's gonna be disappointed. And hell, if you had an empty one of these, it's certainly pour in here, and the chance someone will be able to tell the difference is so slight. That's been married for a long time. And that's, of course, this is what at this point, 5-6 weeks at this point. This thing's been in the bottle, so I think that's it. I think that's going to go. I mean, I'm talking to you guys for almost 20 minutes because good job on me on this one. This was really a blast. Like I said, once again, I want to thank Knight. I want to thank Bobby and Sam. Thank Brad. Thank Brian from Pit Face Barbecue for the 10. So thanks everybody for doing this. It was a fantastic experiment. So keep on crocheting for better whiskey in your glass. Cheers. Shit. My brain's just gone to shit.